Now we're going to take a look at the individual control chart. And it typically has associated with it what's called MR, or moving range. And as we can see, it's very similar to the X-bar R chart. We have the samples up here. Just like the X-bar R. We only have one measurement. And an individual will always have one measurement. It's invalid to put multiple measurements in an individual chart by its definition. And this, as I describe how the individual chart works, you'll see that why we have an individual chart and why it only has one measurement. So for starters, we have the X-bar. Before, that was the average. But in this case, it doesn't apply because we're not averaging. So what you see here matches what's up here, and it will for every sample. So every sample only has one measurement, and it will equal the X-bar. Now, if you recall on the range before, it was the highest measurement minus the lowest measurement. Well, we only have one measurement, so we can't do that. That would be always appear as 0. In fact, if you take a sample data that has one measurement and view it on an X-bar R chart, your range would always be 0, and your control chart down here, your range control chart, would be 0. It's not useful. To calculate the moving range, what we do is we take our first sample, which is not shown, it's off on the left because we see the scroll bar here and we can scroll left. But we take the first sample and subtract the second sample, and that would be our range. And then we just keep going forward. So in this case where we see this sample, we have 120.18. That's here. And we subtract this sample value, 119.97, and that equals our 0.21 here. And then we plot out 0.21 here. So that's where we get the moving range. We're moving across our samples to calculate our range. Everything else is pretty much the same. We're plotting 121 or 120.1 here, and 119.97 and 120.18 here. And we're taking all those, we're averaging them together. So this is our average of measurement values, basically, which is in this case our X-bar values. And that's equaling our green line here for all samples. And our moving range, that's the average, our MR bar is our average of our moving range values from the samples. And that gives us that. So it's very similar to the X-bar R chart. A few differences to support a single measurement.